I just downloaded this new texture pack, which makes the rain look a lot nicer, a lot more realistic in a way. It turns down the colour and mutes it a bit, so it's a bit less bright blue like that piece of coral over there, and I think it looks nice. I've always liked rain in this game. It sounds nice and it can look nice, but it's always been a bit too overwhelming. Without the resource pack, this is what it looks like. Raindrops everywhere, they're bright, it's hard to see, and yeah, it's not very nice. But with the resource pack on, it's nice. So I can walk around and explain things and just enjoy the world a bit more while it's raining too. Anyways, enough about the rain. Today we are going to be building some new automatic farms in this world. I do have quite a good infrastructure with the industrial district behind the cliffs over there and some other farms around the world, but there have been a few that I just haven't been bothered to make, and I think it's about time we make them, because it's becoming a bit of a hassle to collect certain materials, and yeah, it'd be a lot easier if we could get them automatically. But the first thing I wanted to experiment with today is a squid farm. Now, I built quite a lot of squid farms in my time, and they can be really annoying because you have to drain an entire river, so you get the squids to spawn in one select area. And I think I've done enough draining of water for a lifetime in this world with the whole lake here. So I really don't want to have to go and drain a whole river for squid farm. And I was thinking I could just use the river biome that I've already drained here. Because over here, as you can see in the top left of my F3 screen, this is a river biome, and it's about 130 blocks away from where the squids can spawn over there, and there are no rivers or anything nearby, just over there. So this would be a good area to build a squid farm. Now, it is true that in the future when I finish the lake bed, this whole area will be filled with water, so the squid farm will break, as the squids will just be able to spawn anywhere. But that is not going to happen for a long time, as this lake bed is going to take quite a while. So I figured that if we just keep this squid farm running in the background, we'll have enough black ink to last us for a very, very long time. So we might as well build it now today. I don't know how big of a space they need to spawn, and I'm pretty sure they don't need solid water, they just need flowing water. So there's one spawning area down to Y level 45, and I'll put another one which just goes down to Y level 50. I don't really know the best way to make them spawn other than to wait. Maybe 50 is too deep, maybe it needs to be between 50. The base of this one is at 51. And I've got my hitboxes turned on, so it will be easy to spot if a squid spawns. Okay, so these are both between Y level 50 and 63. I mean, there's no other places they could spawn around here, I don't think. Aha! This is where they're all spawning. Yes, there is a lot of squids in there. So, we're going to have to drain off this area, which won't take too long. Okay, let's quickly drain this area, and we'll see if some squids start to spawn in our little experiment over there. So this water cave is actually quite deep. It goes all the way down here. I could just like cap it off at a certain level like I did here, but if I'm draining it out, I might as well just drain the entire thing out. I don't think squids can spawn all the way down here, but I might as well not risk it. So even though it'll take quite a while, I'll just drain out the entire area all the way up to here. So yep, now I've just got to place a whole lot of sand. Okay, well, I cleared out this whole area. I'm just going to leave the sand there for now, and I cleared out this entire little ravine here as well. So hopefully if we go over here, there'll be some squids that start to spawn. Ooh, in here there's another spot that they're all spawning. Okay, well, we're going to have to drain this spot as well. There is like quite a big underwater ravine this way. If you go up here, down here, and in here, but it's all in forest biome, so I probably won't bother. I did section it so I can drain it if I want, but it should be fine. Well, I'm missing a few sponges, but that's okay, I can always get more. That should be that whole area drained out now. So let's see if the rates are any better. Let me build up a bit so I can see if they are spawning, or I could just do this. Yeah, it looks like those squids, no. Is that an Enderman? What is going on? No, okay. Well, as you may have just seen, all the squids are spawning right here. So, where we are over here, they obviously can still spawn within a little bit of that water. So the very end of it is at the squids, the very end of the squid spawning will be here. So I'll just go from this block. 488 to 370, and 488 minus 370 is 118, so we need to cut off, so we need to drain out 10 blocks from here till 360. I'll go one over for safety. That means that we need to drain the water from here, so I'm going to just quickly create a sand barrier here and a few in there, and yeah, we'll drain it out. So it's been a bit more work than I initially thought it would be. Okay, we've drained out this whole area now. I guess we probably have to drain out this area too, but the 128 by 128 radius isn't a square, it's a circle. At least I think it is, so that area shouldn't matter because it will be outside of the circle, I think, but we'll see in just a minute. So if I land here, well, we're consistently having at least one squid spawn. I mean, the rates aren't crazy, I expected a few more, but I mean, I don't see any other places that squids could be spawning, so I think it's okay. Well, there's 2 squids this time, so I guess, oh wow, that's more like it, 4 squids in these little areas. There hasn't been any that have spawned in these ones, so I think this is the optimal height to get squids to spawn. I had a bunch of green glass lying around, so I thought, why not make it out of green glass? It'll be really annoying to get rid of, and it's not going to look good no matter what I build it out of. This whole area isn't supposed to look good, it's a work in progress. But this way we can see the squid farm working, and it might hopefully look decent. But it will certainly be much more annoying to get rid of. But that's a problem for me in the future. Ta-da! It's actually pretty good because it's quite see-through. Looks like a giant slime cube. That's the weirdest slime cube I've ever seen. Okay, it's been a while since I've made a squid farm, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but I think you have to make a grid of fence gates that sort of force the water to flow down in one by ones without spreading anywhere else. And you have to add fence gates at the base, and then you have a bit of a fall where the squids swim out of the water, they fall down, and then they land on a floor made of slabs with hoppers underneath, and the items get collected into a chest. I'll dig down a little ways, I'll activate this beacon so it's easier, and then we can start adding in the water. Okay, well, we've dug into an underwater cave, or like an underwater ravine, and there were some glow squids spawning a minute ago, and I don't really know how that will interfere with the spawning rates of the squid, but it's a pretty thin cave in here, so I should just be able to drain it quickly, so I might as well. Also, I'm probably going to dig this down a little bit deeper, so I will need to drain a bit of it anyways. Okay, so I think that's deep enough. So the next step, I'm going to actually build the collection system first. I feel like that might be the best thing to do. I don't think this is enough hoppers, but let's see, I'll put some chests here. It's probably easier if I just have it all collected in one chest, because I can just run these all the way back and run these across. But I need some more hoppers. I guess it'd be a good idea to light up this cave as well. Okay, that's probably good. Just to make sure there are no items that escape the hoppers, I'll move the chest back here so the entire floor is covered. And then we can place in all the slabs so items get picked up. I don't really know why this needs to be slabs on top of the hoppers. I just remember that the old design I built ages ago used them, so I'm going to too. But yeah, I guess these squids would also just die if they fell straight onto the hoppers. Look at this, a skeleton with almost full iron armor. That's pretty cool. I'll just build a roof over his head because the helmets do break in the sunlight, or at least they used to. I do have another skeleton way over there somewhere that is in full iron armor. I'm keeping all the rare mobs that we find. I know iron armor isn't like extraordinarily rare, but it's pretty cool. So I'm keeping all the mobs with rare armor, so we maybe can make a museum one day of all our rare things and rare mobs alike. Here's a skeleton with full iron armor, and I also have a zombie with full iron armor in the lake somewhere. So yeah, it'll be cool to make a museum for all of the rare mobs one day. Okay, well, the collection system is all complete, so now let's experiment with putting in the water. I kind of don't think the fence gates is necessary. I could just probably fill this whole area in with blocks, and the squids couldn't spawn there anyway. But even if this change only makes it 0.1% faster, that is a win in my books. Oh, okay, well it works, the water stays in a 1x1 column, but I have to add the points where the water stops, so I'll just add a fence gate on the ground for that. So this is the level I'm going to have them stop at, so I'll just match up a open fence gate on the ground for each block of stone, which I hopefully will not mess up. And I'll remove the stone one by one. Hopefully the water should stop. Or not. Okay, I think what I have to do is I have to add fence gates all around it. I also feel like I kind of remember having to do this, but I forgot about it now. So yeah, we'll have to add fence gates all around, so that means I'm going to need a lot more fence gates, and this might actually be a bit annoying to do, but it'll just take a while. Looks like the slime is crying from this angle. Oh, and it's raining. Ah! Look at this, the rain only exists on this one row of blocks. That's so weird. The Enderman was fine here, he teleported here, and now he's getting hurt. Why is that? Like, this whole area is getting rained on. Why is the rain only going through on this side? That's weird. I guess this side is the only side that doesn't have fence gates on every block. It only has fence gates on the stone blocks, not these blocks also. I'm going to place a block on top of where the water will be situated, and then all around each of these blocks I will place fence gates, and then you can open them, and that will make it so the water stays like this. Okay, this is working well, but I'm going to need some more fence gates. I mean, you could probably just put normal blocks around where the water is going to fall, but fence gates allow things to move through, so that will prevent any squid from getting stuck. It looks a bit ridiculous though, doesn't it? Okay, let's place all the water in now, and hopefully it should stay. Yes, perfect. Well, the slime is looking pretty weird now, and look, squid are spawning. Oh wow, it is working. That's pretty cool. Well, let's see if the collection system is working. Oh, look at that, 45 ink sacs already. We can hear some more. Yeah, 46. Wow, that is pretty efficient. It's literally been about 1 minute, and we've already almost got a stack. This is ridiculously efficient though. I'm not even that high up, and look how many squids are spawning. And salmon as well. But yeah, lots of squid are spawning. I should probably put a roof over it so mobs don't wander in, but it's fine. Okay, well, I'll see you in about 30 minutes, and hopefully we'll have a ton of ink. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes, maybe a little longer. So let's see how much ink we have. Wow, that's pretty good for half an hour, almost a full double chest, so a double chest and a half basically per hour. I'm sure that is more black dye than I will need for a long time. This farm is definitely a success, very small, very simple, a lot of fence gates, but that's about it, and I didn't have to drain any water except for the little ravines and caves. Okay, next up we're going to be building a wither skeleton farm. Might be a bit of surprise that we're this far into a world and I still don't have one, but yeah, I've kind of just haven't been bothered. I've been using the same beacon and just been bringing it around to all the different areas that I need it, but it would be pretty helpful if we had a lot of beacons that we could set up in multiple locations. I'm just going to be using ENX04's design, which I'll try and remember to link in the description below. It's a really simple wither skeleton farm that's pretty quick to build, and it is still really fast. I think it should still work. So I'm just going to quickly gather up the resources, and then we can go around and try and find a suitable nether fortress to build it in. Okay, that could have been worse. Are you kidding me? Another one? I thought I had this place all lit up. Okay, there's a few slightly more difficult to get items that we need. First of all, cobwebs. So I'm going to have to go find some of those and collect them with shears. I don't know if there's any other better way to collect cobwebs. I don't think you can craft them out of string. So the best place to get cobwebs is probably the mesa biome, because there are tons of mine shafts in the mesa biome. But while I'm there, I'm also going to get some seagrass, I think it is, so I can breed some turtles and get turtle eggs. Okay, we're here, and yeah, there's a mine shaft right here, so we can just grab some cobwebs. Oops. I might as well get a few extras so I can have them lying around if I ever need them again. It's a thunderstorm. Okay, let's see if we can get ourselves a creeper head. Nice. This is a bit dangerous. Hopefully my shield doesn't break with this. It's almost broken. Okay, there we go. That is all the turtle eggs we will need, and all the coppers we'll need, and we got some mob heads along the way. Now, the only thing we need is a whole bunch of nether bricks for the spawning platform for all the wither skeletons. I'll just get those when I go to the nether looking for a fortress though. Before I do that, I want to brew up some fire resistance potions so I'm not constantly getting fireballed by blazes. So we should be able to find some nether wart somewhere in this fortress. It's a pretty dangerous fortress though. Here we go. And while I'm here in the Basalt Delta, let's get Magma Cream. I don't know if it's Magma Cream for fire resistance potions, but I think it is, so... Whoa. Yeah. Whoa, okay. It's a bit of a dangerous place to fight magma cubes. I also think you can use redstone to make the potion last for longer, so I'll try that as well. And there we go, it is fire resistance. Okay, good. I'll dye it orange, so I can differentiate it in case I really quickly need a fire resistance potion. Okay, well let's just go and get the nether bricks and then we can look for a suitable fortress. Okay, I've dug this entire pillar all the way to the ground. There are a lot of nether bricks in this fortress because it stretches so far down to the lava. Okay, that is enough nether bricks, so we have all the resources. Now we just have to locate a suitable fortress. Here's a fortress, and it looks like it's completely inside this warped forest here. Yeah, it's all warped forest as far as the eye can see. Look at this. All warped forest all the way up to here, okay. This might be the perfect fortress. So I think that should be fine. I think this is the perfect place to build the Wither Skeleton farm. We need to find the highest Y value on this fortress. So I'm just going to drink a fire resistance potion. So yeah, let's find the highest Y value. And its fences don't count, so right now we're at 63. 63 looks like the highest Y value, I think. As we can see, the fortress extends all the way out to about there at least, so that means the bounding box encapsulates at least this whole area. So I think this little area might be the perfect place to build the farm. Let's see. So we need to build one block below the highest point of the fortress, which is Y level 62, and that gives us plenty of room here. Okay, well, I have all the resources. We found a perfect place to build the farm. I'm running a bit low on rockets though, so I might have to go back to the overworld at some point. Luckily I'm not too far away from home, but we might have to do some on-foot travel. Well, let's hop into a little time lapse of building up this farm. I'm just going to follow the tutorial and hopefully everything works out fine. As you just saw, I almost just died. Do I have any more? I don't think I have any more totems when I'm dying. Nope, I'm all out. I'll get my almost broken shield out. And I have no rockets too, that's great. This doesn't look very good. Okay. Let's heal. Do this. Okay, so yeah, a block must have gone through the portal on the spawning platform when I was building it, and it must have loaded the portal, and so all these wither skeletons are spawning, which is a good sign, and I don't think it completely breaks the farm, but it means that this is going to be a bit difficult. Okay, we're a bit more set now. Hopefully the mobs won't come spilling out as long as I'm in the overworld, so I'm just going to continue building the farm. Okay, I've been here for about 15 or so minutes, and while the rates aren't as fast as a fully working farm, they are pretty fast. We've already gotten 22 wither skeleton skulls, so yeah, it's not running at its full capacity, but it's certainly good enough for me. These skulls will provide us with enough beacons for a while, and we've gotten all these bones as well, so this is a legitimate way to get bone meal. Okay, so we have to put the soul stone down, spawn the wither. I'll just back up so I don't take any damage. This sword doesn't have knockback on it, so it shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, let's just go. Yay, all done. There we go. 8 nether stars. So let's just get some obsidian to make the actual beacons, and there we have it. 8 lovely beacons. I can always go and get more, but for now that will suit me, and I can use those wherever and whenever I please, so we can have multiple in different areas when we're digging the lake in the future. Okay, well, now that we have finished that, let's move on to a bit of a smaller farm. I'm just going to build a few flower farms around the world, really simple ones, but in places that give certain flowers. So this one is pretty general, but I'll go to a swamp and I'll build one there for the blue orchids that spawn these flowers, which I can use both as decorative flowers and for light blue dye. I've got most colours of dye with my general flower farm and these basic 2 tall flower farms that just bone meal the flowers and you get all these. So I think the only flower farm I will build today is the one in the swamp. let's gather up the few materials that we need, and I'll see you in the swamp. I'm just going to build the farm pretty close to this slime farm over here, just so everything can be close together. This area is pretty close to my stronghold, so I can get to here through the nether, but it is only about 1,000 blocks away from home, so it's not too far just to fly manually. I will have 8 pistons here. I don't think the number of pistons really matters, but 8 sounds good to me. Then we need to dig this area out, and this does look a little bit small, but it's okay. We'll see if it works. Now, if these pistons fire, is the redstone going to break? Yeah, it is. Okay. So, it should just work if we have the redstone back here, right? Okay, now we can put some bone meal in here. Now whenever this block moves, it doesn't work. Here's my terribly made redstone circuit. So this observer sees the ground move, then it sends a signal to an observer there, which sends a signal to this. But this observer is too high, isn't it? Sure, there's a million ways to do that better. But now, if this observer sees something, we get flowers and grass. Nice. What if we just have one of these? It's working, hooray! It's probably much worse than the other flower farm we have back at our base, but as long as it works, it's fine. This is a bit ridiculous, this redstone. Let's see if it'll even work. I mean, it works, so I'm happy with it. Okay, the farm still hasn't run out of bone meal, but my inventory is basically filled with flowers. So, yep, that is definitely enough for now. And yeah, it seems to work pretty efficiently. Look at the ridiculous amount of seeds that are on the ground. So yeah, that has been a success. A much quicker farm to build than the others so far today. Next up, we're going to move nicely over to a different type of plant, which is bamboo. Surprisingly, I don't have a bamboo farm in this world, as I've just never really needed one. But I have been using bamboo a decent amount here and there, whether it be bamboo wood or just bamboo itself. I could just build a similar one to the sugarcane farm, where they grow naturally and just get pushed down when they grow tall enough for an observer to see. But I want to do something a bit different. I want to try out the bone meal ones, where they're super fast, instantly bone mealed really high, and then pushed down, and you get lots of bamboo very, very quickly. I won't make one too crazy, just a pretty basic one, and I don't really have that much bone meal, so I might have to build a little bone meal farm today as well, because I don't really want to have to sit at the Wither Skeleton farm every time I need bone meal. So yep, let's gather some resources and build up a pretty simple little bamboo bone meal farm. Okay, well, I just went into this sort of semi-redstone testing world, semi-building world that I have here, and I thought it would be wise to experiment with how bamboo grows before I build the farm in the hardcore world. And so I just made these two little observer clocks here that can be powered on like this, and you have to put a repeater here to get 1 tick of delay, because without it, the pistons, I think, bump into each other and it's pretty slow, like this. And then with the repeater, it's much faster like this. So yeah, so the pistons go at different times, and basically that stops the bamboo from growing too tall. I could just make the glass chamber here taller and only have one piston, but I kind of like the double piston pusher design here. I thought it looked pretty cool. So I'll try my best to remember this and we can build it in the hardcore world. Okay, so I built up the pretty small bamboo farm. I put about 9 stacks of bone meal in each dispenser. So let's run it until it runs out of bone meal and see how much bamboo we get. Okay, well that was actually pretty quick. Pretty quick for a whole 18 stacks of bone meal. And it looks like we have a bit of a problem. So the hoppers, I think, are a bit overloaded. But we might have to find a different way to create the storage because the hoppers get completely overloaded. But for about 1 minute, that is a ridiculous amount of bamboo. So if we ever need thousands of chests or something, we can create some sort of really fast bone meal farm, and then we can run 1 or 2 of these and get a ton of bamboo which we can turn into wood. Okay, next up, one of the resources I use really often is dark oak wood. You can see it on the rooftops of the city buildings here, and I never seem to have enough of it, so the next build is going to be a dark oak farm. I built one of these before. It's a really simple and efficient design. Yeah, I'm not going to be designing this one or anything. I do not have the capacity to design a tree farm. So I'll just be building a really simple and extremely fast design that I found. And of course I will link it in the description below. We are kind of running out of space here in the industrial district. As you can see, I could build it in that area over there. It's probably the best idea just to build it in this area here. It's not too big of a farm, but it just means that I'll have to fill in this area with dirt before we get started. Let's quickly do that and then gather up the resources for the dark oak tree farm. Okay, we've got an area marked out here where we can build the farm, and it should be far enough away from everything that nothing gets exploded with the TNT. If this redstone happens to be in range, I can always just put a layer of blocks in front of it, so it should be fine. But yeah, there aren't very many materials to gather. It's quite a simple farm, as I said. It just needs to be built correctly, but when it is, it works really well. I think it's about 50,000 dark oak logs per hour, and it works for the pale oak logs too, so that's really cool. So yeah, I'm going to gather the resources for this farm. We can build it in a little time lapse. I also need a lot of bone meal for the farm, of course, and so while I'm building it, I'll run this bone meal farm, Ilmango's bone meal farm design here, and see how much we get from that. If it's a pretty good amount, I'll just stick to using only this, but if it's not enough, then I might build a few smaller moss farms as well. Okay, so I've gotten all the materials here, not very many, which is nice. It means it's easy to collect. I'm having a bit of trouble with the moss farm. It keeps breaking. I'm going to try and replace the lava, and I've replaced a few of the circuits, but that's probably just made it worse, so I'll probably have to build a new moss farm in the future, but we have enough bone meal to test out the dark oak farm for a little while anyways. So let's hop into a time lapse and build up this dark oak farm. Okay, so the dark oak farm is done. Hopefully it works well. But the moss farm is now completely broken. So we have the same issue here, and now on this side there's no water somehow. The lava has flowed all the way down. The timings are completely off. So basically what I think the farm does is you flick this lever activates a clock, which moves you back and forth to place the 4 saplings needed with this minecart pusher setup. And the clock also activates the TNT duplicator via this scaffolding tower somehow. Then all the items fall down and they get pushed between in this one pixel gap here, and for some reason there's a stone cutter there, I don't really know why, but because they're on that 1 pixel gap, they go perfectly between both the hoppers so they can be sorted into these chests and those chests over there. And there is an item filter, so you get all the saplings while the storage gets everything else. Also, there's some pretty complicated stuff about how the TNT explodes, but it's probably best that I don't explain that, and if you want to find out more, that you just watch the actual tutorial yourself, because technical Minecraft isn't really my forte. And now, let's try and run the farm and see if I build it correctly. Okay, so that was only about 5 or 10 minutes spent AFK, and we have a whole lot of dark oak wood. So that is very cool, big success. I'm glad it's working well. I think there is one more farm that I will build today, and that is a shulker shell farm. Now, I've never built one of these, and I've always kind of dreaded building one of these. There are quite a few different designs. I'll probably just build a simple looking one because the rates are still really good. But the only really annoying part is actually transporting the shulker, which shouldn't be too hard now that we have all the new lead mechanics. I mean, I could just take a happy ghast and fly all the way from the outer end islands back to the main end island, but that would take an eternity. So I might just try and use railroads and minecarts to do it. I'll do a little bit of research, and then we can get started on trying to bring a shulker box to the overworld. I'm gonna get a bunch of blocks that we can build the minecart rail on, and I'll also get a ton of minecart rails. Okay, now let's find a end city that is hopefully close to an end gateway. Look at that, an end gateway right next to it. Wow. Well, that is an extremely lucky find. Okay, so let's make a powered rail. Oh. Yeah. I should have brought ender pearls. Okay, as long as he doesn't... Why is that beam going off now? Okay, as long as he doesn't teleport away, we should be fine. Okay, need some normal rails. Okay, let's see, can we name tag him? We can. Okay, now... No! Let me just place some water to get down. Okay, so we got him, and he's gone. Oh no. Why did that happen? So... Okay, we need... And then I need to break that block, and I need to place a rail under it before he drops. But before I do that... Okay... No! See, but this would be a lot easier if I wasn't constantly floating into the air. Okay, what I'll do... I'll make a new... rail line... here... which... No! Connects this way. And we'll go up here. Enough space. That's better. Okay, and drop this guy. Like this. Yes. No! I forgot to power them. Let's drop down. Place a block. Place in the wrong spot. Okay. Now quick. Run around. Power them. Okay, he's gonna go back and bounce up. He's in. Yes, we did it. Okay, now when we go through, we should see him on the end platform. Oh, he's dangling off the edge. Okay. Do this. He should be right there, I think. So, I'll make a rail line all the way up. Okay, that should be fine. Now we just need to break the obsidian underneath him. Should be this block. And then, perfect. Okay. He's going up. Along. That's good. There he is. And he's in. Okay, perfect. Now I spawn here, but my world spawn is somewhere in this area over there. So we might have to look around for him for a little while, but we should find him. There he is, right there. Okay, we got him. He's still name tagged, right? Yeah, Shulker. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna get some glass so I can still see that he's okay, and I'll build a box around him. And let's get a roof. When he closes the shell, we should be able to put a roof on. No. Perfect. Now he's stuck like that. Okay, well he's not firing shells, so he should be safe in there. Now, where are we going to build this farm? So, I think my best bet is going to be taking him to the ocean that's right here. Because it's pretty close, and I have my guardian farm and my gunpowder farm, so the shulker farm would fit in really well just here. So I'll make a huge rail line, we can bring him out to sea. Okay, we're pretty close. Okay, I'll make a pathway from the ground and I'll bring it up to here. So I'll probably bring it out to about that area, somewhere around the middle. So I need to go forwards quite a bit and to the right. It's probably easier if I just do this. For those who don't know, if you have a furnace minecart and you put a piece of coal in the furnace, you just right click it, then it starts moving on its own. It's like a train engine, it's pretty cool. I'll need to just put a rail here, furnace minecart, and off it goes. So the shulker is here, the furnace minecart is following along in case it ever gets stuck, but I think the powered rails should do their job. Almost looks like he's floating. And down he goes. Okay, here's enough speed to get through here. And I'll get some glass ready. He's in. No. Okay, just have to wait for him to close his shell. Perfect. Okay, well that is perfect. We have a shulker, and now I will just get the resources to build the farm. I think the resources are pretty easy, you just need a lot of slabs and a lot of scaffolding, so it's a good thing we made that bamboo farm, because now scaffolding will be really easy to get. I would also like to build a string farm at some point, because string's kind of annoying to get still, so maybe we can find a spider spawner and build one of those. But yeah, so the materials should be pretty easy to get, so I'll just go and collect those. I'll meet you back here and then we can get started on building up this farm. Okay, the materials have been gathered here. Pretty simple, which is nice. So we can just get started on building the farm. I've seen this farm and similar ones built by a lot of people, but I think I found the original designers of the farm, and I'll link their tutorial in the description below. So if you want to build it yourself, it is there. By the way, you don't have to build it in the overworld. You can just build it in the end, so you don't have to transport the shulker all the way here. But yeah, I thought it'd be nicer having it in the overworld. That way I could just fly over quickly, get some shulker shells. I don't have to go to the end every time. So yeah, let's hop into a time lapse and build up the shulker shell farm. Okay, so the farm itself is basically done. I just have to turn this clock on. Yep, that looks like it's working fine. Okay, to transport the shulker, the best way to do it, this is what the video did. You just bring a railroad up beside the farm and use an activator rail, which ejects the shulker into the farm. So I'm going to build a rail line all the way up with an activator rail. And before I do that, I'll splash this guy with a healing potion, just in case he has taken some damage. From that point, there aren't any other spawnable blocks in a radius of, I think it was 8 blocks, that the shulker can teleport to, so it should be fine. Now, I need to quickly not get seen by it. Place a rail there, and then put a rail here. Oh, it worked. Huh. Okay. Now, hopefully... What? The activator rail. I forgot that activator rails need to be... Okay. Is he gonna drown? Oh, heal it, heal it. I can save it, I can save it. No! No! Oh, it died. That was a ridiculously silly mistake by me. I thought that this torch would power the activator rail too. Well, maybe I should have put a block here just in case. Oh well. Okay, well, we'll have to get another shulker, but we've got everything set up now, so it shouldn't be too hard. It worked, it worked, it worked, oh my goodness. Okay, now, let's destroy all these just in case. Now, there's one lever we have to flick, and hopefully the farm will start working. It'll take about a minute before it starts, like, picking up steam. I can't really see what's going on, but I have my replay mod activated, so hopefully you're seeing what's happening right now, and hopefully the shulkers are starting to entity cram at the top of the farm. Okay, so I'm going to go AFK here for about an hour and see how many shulker shells we get. Okay, I've been AFKing for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and would you look at that, that is a great amount of shulker shells. Yeah, so 8.5 stacks of shulker shells there, which is really, really good for 40 minutes. So yeah, I'm happy with it. It's working really well, and now we have no more shulker box problems. I am kind of wanting to AFK here a bit longer though, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a regeneration beacon so I don't have to worry about getting hit by the occasional shell, or bullet I mean, as well as might as well just add resistance. Yep, so the beacon works underwater. For some reason, the beacon beam underwater, you get this sort of hazy shell on the outside of the beacon beam. You can actually kind of just barely see it above water. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That effect should still work in here. Yep. Okay, well, I'm going to AFK here for probably a few hours. 3 or 4 at the most, and that should give us enough shulker shells for a lifetime. Okay, well, I came back after about an hour just to check up on the farm, and I went up to the top, and somehow the boats had been broken, and there were shulkers everywhere. I tried, 2 of them just died, and I tried getting the other one, and I actually got it to teleport at some point, then it just teleported back up here. And I didn't really know what to do, and then it died to one of its own bullets. But the good news is, we did get quite a few shulker shells. I mean, if we ever need more, which I kind of doubt we will, we can always get another shulker from the end. It's not too difficult, so we can always do that if we need more. But yeah, it's a good farm. I don't really know what went wrong, and I call it a success because this is most likely more shulker shells than we are ever going to need. Okay, well, there still are a few more farms that I want to build, but this episode is already getting pretty long, I think. So it's probably best that we do the rest of those in a part 2. So that will probably be next episode or the episode after that. I don't really know, but expect to see a part 2 where we build a bunch more automatic farms for this world. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. It's good to have some nice infrastructure in this world now with more beacons, dark oak logs, and of course all these shulker shells and all the other things we did today. So yeah, thank you very, very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you in the next one, which will either be a part 2 where we build more farms or something else. I don't really know, but yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.